Barony fans, today is a good day. This video is the last of my class guides covering the base game classes of Barony. Today I'll be covering the 13th class, the Monk. If you thought the last class I covered, the Ninja, was simple, oh man, you have no idea about the Monk. I am telling you now, this is a borderline caveman gameplay. You could give this to a chimpanzee and he would learn it. The Monk's starting inventory is nothing. It is so actually nothing. There's 5 fucking items here. A tunic that does nothing, brass knuckles that give +1 to unarmed damage, a ring of slow digestion, a spellbook of light, and a single torch. I told you, the Monk has nothing, and that is completely fine, because you know what? Desire is the root of all suffering, so as a monk, you shall desire nothing. The starting skills here are actually a little more spread out than you would think, considering the simplicity of the starting inventory. 10 swimming, 10 leadership, 20 alchemy, 10 magic, 20 casting, 40 blocking, and 50 unarmed. There's a lot going on here. You get a smidgen of swimming, so hooray, you can swim slightly faster. There's 10 leadership, so if you recruit NPCs, they get a little bit of a buff. Basic skill in alchemy, so a slightly better chance at potion duplication. A bit of magic and casting to ease you into some magic gameplay, but most of the points are going to blocking and unarmed. I'm sure you can see where we're going with this. Gentlemen, it is time to reveal the strategy behind playing the Monk. Punch the enemy, and then block their attack. That is literally all you do as a monk. You don't need to sneak, you don't need to pick up a weapon, you barely need food because of your slow digestion ring. Hell, you don't even really need armor that much because the monk has 2 AC from the beginning, and it has the highest chance to get a level of constitution at level up compared to every other class. You are basically innately tanky, but if you do wear heavy armor, you can literally become undamageable. With your spellbook of light, you can slowly get into using magic, though for the monk it's more of a supporting thing, but of course you can just keep going and eventually start spamming magic missile along with punching non-stop. The gameplay style is simple and efficient, but will still take a bit of work to get used to. Early on, you'll still need to watch out for skeletons using axes, and spiders can poison you, so there are still some threats to consider. In single player, you are more or less an unstoppable wrecking ball. By just sticking with what the game gives you at the beginning, you'll eventually be able to just eviscerate any enemy within a few punches. In multiplayer, there's a tad bit more nuance. Even with the obvious inclination towards simply punching shit, there's a bit of wiggle room in how you play the monk. You could play like a caster, but with melee as a very good backup option, or if you get a priestly mitre and a spellbook of troll's blood or healing, you can become a supportive tank. In all scenarios, you're going to be tanking for the squishier members of your party, acting as an indomitable wall to protect their soft and supple skin. I would like to inform the public that the weapon recommendation segment for the Monk Guide has been removed due to general redundancy. I jest, there is a little bit to be discussed here. You won't be needing any of the standard weapons. Instead, you'll want fist armor pieces, which, yes, are technically armor, but scrolls of enchant weapon also work on them, and they break after extended use, so we're going with it. You start with brass knuckles, which are fine, but they can be replaced with iron knuckles and spiked gauntlets. If you dump a bunch of scrolls into these, they can increase your unarmed damage by a ludicrous amount, but you have to repair them or they will eventually break. The main issue with the fist weapons is that they seem to be somewhat rare. The NPCs throughout the dungeon will drop gloves and gauntlets a fair amount of the time, but the fist weapons don't appear nearly as often, at least not in my experience. Recommending armor for the monk is a very easy thing, as it mostly consists of just getting the armor pieces with the most AC and slowly becoming untouchable. For the head slot, I suggest getting the Sphinx's Casque, as it is unbreakable, is tied with crystal helmets for giving the most AC of any head slot item, and gives +8 intelligence. It is literally perfect for the monk. Getting through the gnomish mines is always a pain though, especially when you don't start with any ranged gear or skill. For the hand slot, if you aren't using the fist weapons, then you'll probably want the Genie's Brace for some magic resistance, or the special hand armor, like Gauntlets of Strength or Bracers of Constitution. Body armor can be nothing, or if you're maxing out AC, the Dragon's Mail would be the best option, as it gives 6 AC and some extra HP regen. The feet slot can just be whatever, the Oracle's Treads are always good, but if you don't want to deal with 30 fucking enslaved ghouls, steel or crystal boots will work too. The face slot is like a free space on a bingo card. Do whatever you want for this one. They all help the monk to some degree, but one of the better options would be a blessed sweetgrass sprig, because that, combined with your ring of slow digestion, will make it so you almost never need to eat. Miscellaneous item recommendations are mostly the same: magic reflect amulets and cloaks, skeleton keys, backpacks, but with the addition of an alembic, so you can utilize your starting 20 in alchemy. The race synergies for the monk range from being okay to basically giving the game an easy mode under certain conditions. Automaton, as per usual, is just fine. It doesn't really do anything special for the monk. Skeleton will let you get rid of your slow digestion ring, since skeletons do not need to eat, and if you don't use your mana, then you get a free revive once you reach 75 mana. Succubus doesn't do much for the monk, but Incubus can use Arcane Mark to remove weaknesses and resistances, which is particularly good for stronger monsters that may resist unarmed damage. Insectoid would be a good choice if you're looking to play a monk that uses spellcasting a lot, as your 3 innate spells will make it easier to level up your magic and casting skills, plus then you can eat rotten food, making hunger management even less of a problem. Goblin works great with monk as it lets you get levels in every melee skill at the same time and increases the durability of your gear. This would make it so your highly coveted fist weapons will last much longer. The only downside is you can't memorize your Spellbook of Light or any other spellbook, so getting into magic gameplay is a fair bit harder. Vampire, as usual, is one of the better options because it gives the best offensive spell and levitation, but wait, you can't utilize your 10 swimming levels! And lastly, the single best race for the monk is Goatman. Literally every single mechanic the Goatman has serves to improve the monk's gameplay. You can eat tin cans without a tin opener, and can't get greasy from them. You have a chance to get up to 3 potions from a fountain when using a bottle on them, so it's really good for alchemy, and if you are drunk, you get big buffs to your strength, charisma, and constitution, as well as the free action buff, making you immune to sleep and paralysis. Everything here mixes perfectly with the monk as a class. If you want a super easy win, this is the combo to use. In short, punch people you don't like, forget that you need to eat until you are literally starving, and achieve inner peace by letting go of your earthly possessions. That's it for the Monk Guide. If you enjoyed, like and subscribe, and have a good one.